No matter how much you care about your health, how dedicated you feel to building your wellness, if you're not sleeping well, your body is quietly working against you. So if you've ever gone to bed with the best intentions, only to wake up feeling behind, foggy, or pulled back into old patterns, then this episode is for you. Today we're talking about how sleep quality quietly shapes your ability to build healthy habits and routines, and why not sleeping well can make consistency feel so much harder. We'll talk about how sleep shapes your energy, your choices, and your ability to follow through on the plans that you create for yourself. So buckle up, my friends, because today we are going to discover how sleep can help us to create new habits so we can set a foundation that makes consistency grow naturally from a place of stability and ease. If your wellness journey has you stuck in a cycle of overwhelm and inconsistency, it's time to lean in. Together, we are unlocking the confidence and clarity to make your health feel like a peaceful return home. Welcome to the Health Habit Podcast. I'm Maria, a nature-loving herbalist, science-obsessed nutrition therapy practitioner, and your guide to holistic healing. If you're ready for realistic routines that bring more presence and fulfillment into your life, then brew up some tea or crack open a kombucha and let's get into it. Sleep is not just rest. It is one of the most powerful regulators of our entire body system. When you sleep, your body is able to regulate hormones better, stabilize your blood sugar, support immune function, balance inflammation, restore your nervous system, maintain emotional balance, support your ability to learn, remember, and make decisions. So when sleep is consistently compromised, when we are sleep deprived, which is far too common in our modern day world, every one of those systems has to work harder. That doesn't mean that everything's going to fall apart overnight, but it does mean that your baseline can slowly shift towards more dysregulation, more internal chaos. Your body can become more reactive. Your stress response ramps up more easily, your energy becomes less reliable, and your capacity for intentional choices gets smaller and smaller. So when you sleep well, it's not just making you feel less tired, it's literally supporting every single system inside of your body. But if we flip that coin and we think about a reality where we're not getting enough quality sleep, a reality where we're sleep deprived, your brain and your body have less bandwidth, less resources to work with. So what tends to happen is we switch into autopilot. And autopilot doesn't think about goals. It doesn't think about planning. It isn't able to regulate impulses as well and make intentional decisions. No, autopilot gravitate towards old patterns for comfort and familiarity. And that is exactly what research is showing. When people are sleepy, they fall back on whatever habits are already established, good or bad. Not because they don't care, but because habitual behavior requires less energy than intentional choice. So when you find yourself scrolling on your phone instead of doing the things you plan to accomplish, or grabbing foods that you know don't support your nutrition goals, and then maybe on top of it, you're eating more than you plan to, you find yourself making excuses as to why you should skip going to the gym and, veg on the couch instead of moving your body. There is a physiological reason for that. All of these things tend to happen when we're sleep deprived. So while people tend to focus on motivation and willpower and have more discipline, yes, like those mindset components are important. But there are these underlying systems at play where our bodies, our sleep-deprived bodies, are naturally going to gravitate towards those high-calorie, low-nutrient foods. And we're naturally going to have more resistance to the new habits and intentional choices that we're building into our lives. So if we ignore this physiology and we just try to push harder, try harder, have more willpower, we're missing a huge opportunity to work with our bodies. Instead of focusing just on willpower, we can honor the fact that we are working with more friction. Inside the Wellness Consistency Coaching Program, we use these days to our benefit because we establish minimums. We have a clear system that is predetermined that you can always default to, and then within it, there are absolute minimums so that on our low energy, high friction days, we have that bare minimum that still helps us move forward, but in a way that honors where our body is on this particular day. If you can do that for yourself, do one tiny step that feels manageable for today, you are ingraining even further into your brain that you are dedicated. This is what you are doing. So instead of trying to just willpower your way into it and then probably failing, feeling worse about yourself, and then next week just completely ditching the new habit you're trying to build completely, we're using a bare minimum. We're looking at our pre-established system, and we know exactly what to do to move forward. By doing so, we are honoring the psychology and the physiology. And when you can work with the mind, with the body in this way, that is where you can create habits and wellness routines that you can maintain well past January. You can maintain long term and that truly feel good because you're not forcing yourself into a lifestyle. You're adapting your lifestyle to meet you where you are. I help women do this every single day. I help them to build strong habits that truly can be sustained on tired, high-friction, busy days. And it is all through understanding all aspects of our human experience and building supportive routines with that in mind. So if you are ready to have systems like that established in your life, then go to thehealthhabit.net/services and book your first one-on-one wellness consistency coaching call. Now, if you are a nerd like me, you are probably very intrigued by this conversation of how sleep can impact your behavior on a physiological level, but chances are you might be curious about even more of the science of sleep. In which case, you will absolutely love episode 6 of the Health Habit Podcast. Inside that episode, I dive deep into the science of sleep, what is specifically impacted in the body, the benefits of each stage of sleep, how the brain detoxes during sleep, what's causing sleep. All of the juicy science is inside of episode 6. But how can we use the information, the can of worms that we have opened up in today's episode in a way that does not add pressure? It doesn't make sleep another checklist item on your wellness plan and another thing that you're just failing at. No. How can we use it in a productive, grounded way? So this week, I want you to intentionally prioritize a 7 to 9 hour sleep window. Not perfectly, but consciously and intentionally. So if you get 6 hours, that's fine. If you have an 8-hour window, that's fine. We're going to collect some data this week. So based off of how long you sleep, I want you to think about how your energy feels, how your choices change. Do your choices feel easier, harder? Does your appetite change? Just notice all of these things. As a gentle bonus, you can also brainstorm one small way you can make your evening wind down a little bit more sleep supportive. It might be dimming the lights earlier in the evening, putting your phone down 10 minutes earlier than you usually do, creating a little end of day cue or ritual. No rules, no perfection, just awareness. Because the goal is to understand your body on a deeper level. It's to support it on a deeper level. Because when your body feels supported, aligned choices become easier. Not always effortless, but easier. Sleep isn't just a luxury. It's not a reward for productivity. It's not some side note that, just casually ends our day. It's a form of self-care. It's a quiet and powerful way to make everything that you are doing feel more doable and more sustainable. So if you've been struggling with follow-through, motivation, or energy, it is not proof that you are failing. It is simply information. Your body is constantly communicating with you. Our job is simply to learn how to listen. And if you would like a little bit of extra support doing so, join me inside of Wellness Consistency Coaching at thehealthhabit.net/services. And as always, I hope this episode has really helped you to think about health and wellness in a new way. If you have a friend that you think this would benefit, and send this her way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And do me a favor, take a deep breath, give yourself a smile, and keep on being the beautiful you that you are. I'll see you next week, my friends.